Black magic talk. Now, first of all, you come to realize very quickly that's a eye-catching, head-turning phrase. Is it a nomenclature completely? Meaning, is it actually any purpose to using that? Well, yeah, sure. We're going to be talking about nature and witchcraft, what's commonly known as witchcraft. What is witchcraft? Well, I've got a book that says dancing is witchcraft, literally. So, in that regards, the Mormons, quote unquote, weren't wrong, except for if you didn't dance, your life would be utterly horrible because you'd be taking all the fun away from it. Now, what this is not is any sort of harm to animals or humans, as some misled people might mislead you to believe. Any harm to nature or animals or another human or any disregard for law is illegal and highly frowned upon by anyone who is an ethical being. And that's the thing with practicing magic is you have to be the utmost of an ethical person. You can't just claim it like some, I'm going to say churchgoers, but of course it extends across the platform to anyone. I'm a good person because this, that. Oh, really? Have you gone too far into the shadow work there? Because if you haven't, then you don't understand what I'm talking about. Here's where the black part comes in. It's a Jungian journey. Who is Carl Jung? Well, he was a Swiss psychologist. He was the understudy of Freud, who I'm sure you've all heard of, and he far surpassed Freud. He's not as well known, but he is well known. And Carl Jung said that life doesn't start until 40. Until then, we're just setting up the pieces. I hope that's true. And I think that's true. I feel like that's true in many regards. The thing is, there's some theories that say that all of reality is all inside of our mind. Now, the thing is, it depends on what perspective you look at it to gain an understanding. Because at first that sounds insane. It's all in my head. Okay, well then how can I touch this chair? How could I be sitting in this chair if this chair is in my mind? But you're looking at it the wrong way. Think about the Edgar Allan Poe quote, "Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?" Films like The Matrix from 1999 lend themselves quite well to thinking about these kind of things. And with the recent ongoings of life, at least here in America, although I'm sure abroad, you start to at least realize more and more that thin, fine line, not between love and hate, but between reality and fiction. And as they say, truth is stranger than fiction. So, I hope you join us for what should be a very interesting podcast. March 4th. For Black Magic Talk. Got much more to say. I shall be co-hosting, and it shall be very interesting. I hope to have lots of good guests on. And in Norse culture, it's very important to treat your guest well. And why is that, you might ask? Well, because if you're talking about a time that didn't have heaters and air conditionings, a time that was more natural, you had a lot of really chilly winters, wouldn't you say? And so, if you had someone that was wandering, as Odin is the god of wanderers, you welcomed him by the fireside and you gave him food and drink, because otherwise they would die. And you never know in those sagas how literal or metaphoric it was. To be taken is completely up to you, the reader, if it was actually a god visiting you who was testing to see if you were a good person or not. For you see, the stories and sagas are not all that much different going from holy book to holy book, no matter if it's the Talmud, the Bible, the Poetic Edda, and so forth. They're telling you stories. Be a good ethical person, whether someone's watching you or not. You don't need an invisible person in the sky telling you this is good or this is bad or you're not doing good enough for that. You need to do that by yourself. Otherwise, you're missing the point. The whole point of practicing black magic, witchcraft, is you must be a truth-speaking magician. You must speak truth to yourself. You must delve into the deepest parts of your mind. Now, Carl Jung also said, no tree branches can reach up to heaven unless its roots extend into hell. The world is a hell of a place if you have not done the shadow work. Everyone has a flip side to them, even if they don't understand it, a shadow side. And that's why they call it shadow work. If you don't do the shadow, then they're lying await in every shadow is your worst fear. As H.P. Lovecraft said, the oldest known fear is fear of the unknown. Fear is the oldest emotion, and fear of the unknown gets you. Because it's all those things that you've disregarded into your shadow self, that you haven't paid attention to, that you haven't done the work for. And that, my friends, is why you need to watch this show. Brace yourselves. You're in for a hell of a ride.